Steve, I can tell you what, it's been a long season. This is episode 41. So we previewed the year. We previewed, I think we talked about the Clash. We had some interview episodes, talked about the SRX. We talked about the Ryan Blaney Family Foundation. We had, Josh on several times. Lots of episodes here. From the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for 2 great years, and the fact that, I joke sometimes about, how I get to have fun on Sundays and watch the race, and sometimes even travel while the race is going on, where, Steve and Kate are held up at home, or held up sometimes in hotel rooms if they are on the road, watching the race, taking notes. And Steve's there every week to deliver a really incredibly detailed race report, and couldn't do this without him.
I want to say thanks to you, because people don't realize there have been episodes, and you can tell the difference, where Adam was unable to be here and we produced them ourselves on our end. And you can definitely tell the difference. Adam does so much behind the scenes and the social media end of Team Blaney itself, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. He does an incredible job of putting those things together and then putting this together every week. Luckily, this year we've did a little bit differently and made it hopefully sound a little more natural, because we're just 2 guys talking, and sometimes we'll have some guests, and hopefully we'll learn some things, and hopefully you've learned some things. But more than anything else, Adam puts a lot of time and effort into this. When we get done with this right now, he's got to do it, download this. He might have to edit that. He throws in the different sound that you get to hear. So I want to say thank you for doing all that. It's a lot of effort, and that I could maybe figure out partially how to do, and I've done little bits of it, but there's no way I could give it quite the quality and craftsmanship that you actually put on it and make us sound really professional every week.
Well, thank you for sure, Steve. And like I mentioned about that mention of Team Penske being named Team Penske for a reason, I like to think of the way Team Blaney has evolved. That name has worked out really well with the way that, we've been able to come together the last couple of years, put together this podcast, hundreds of people downloading this thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is a pretty niche product that we have here.
Yeah.
If we're doing, if we set out to do an overall NASCAR podcast, we'd be looking at Fame and Fortune or something. But while we're passionate about the sport overall, we wanted to give fans of Ryan Blaney something unique to them, specific to them, that they can use, leading into a race, following up from a race. I know they have things like this for sports teams, and that's kind of the model we went after. The 12 team is basically a franchise, and it deserves some sort of support. And we were just the first ones basically to kind of step up and do that. And I hope the folks, the hundreds of you that are downloading every week, we really appreciate the support from them as well.
Yeah. Subscribe for sure, because we're not done. And during the off season, we already talked about working on some interview stuff and getting to meet hopefully some more of the people at Penske and doing some interviews with them. But the other thing is, you bring out how niche we are. Somebody will talk to me about my podcast or our podcast, and I will say, "Are you a NASCAR fan?" "Oh yeah." "Okay. Do you know Ryan is?" And then I can look at that look in their eye and kind of tell right off the bat, "Well, yeah, I've seen it. Well, yeah, I kind of." Well, I want everybody to listen. Don't get me wrong. I would love everybody to listen, but more than anything else, I want Ryan's fans to be able to listen. This is, like we've talked about before, a place for everybody to come together. And so if you're listening already and another Ryan fan, have them tune in. Let's get this so that next year we've got even more people listening and we get even more people together, because what's cool about it is hopefully we're bringing everybody together too, so that when there's information, things about, appearances or things about something that happened, we bring you the information and bring it so that everybody gets to hear it. And you can agree and disagree and whatnot. But journalistically, Adam tries to make sure we're on a good journalistic path where it's pretty pretty good as far as facts and so forth. But a good place for everybody to come together and root together and hopefully celebrate together as the years go on.
Yeah, we've brought it up before. We've talked about it in our very, very first episode. How we're just trying to kind of rekindle that magic from the old days. It's funny for me, as I get older, thinking that there are old days for me now, when we kind of grew up as Dave Blaney fans, and there's just such a wonderful community that grew around that. And if there's a way for us to even get a tenth of what we had with that, and friendships that I think are going to last a lifetime. I think we're starting to see that a little bit this year with the growth of the podcast and the growth of the fan base and bringing them together. The coolest thing this year has been, seeing folks at the racetrack. Steve and I are pretty good about wearing our Team Blaney shirts when we're at the track. Having somebody point at you, and you can see them saying like, "Oh, that's." And I mean, nobody knows who I am really, but it's like, oh, that's that guy from that thing. That's enough for me.
Yeah.
Or folks that are like, hey, I'm at the track. Could you stop by, the fan stage, and say hello? Like, it's the coolest thing, because we're all here to root for one purpose. But like I said, it's the relationships that we build along the way that have really made this worthwhile for sure.
Well, it's great that you brought Dave up, because there were certain types of fans that were Dave's fans, and I think that's part of it. To me, is that I'm looking for those type of people still. It was really cool when Quickest Lap existed the way it did, and people would go and listen to that live podcast once a week. Before it was a podcast, live streaming show, but those people would get together at the track, and they would meet up at the track, and this one would be in the campground over there. And I went to Bristol one time and started talking to this guy, and the next thing I know, I'm up on the drag strip up there at a camper. I don't know if it was Chucker. It had to be Chucker.
Yeah.
Because I think he had the golf cart that was like the 22 cat car, so, and that was the thing. It was like, you got to meet other people who rooted for the same person you rooted for, and on a level of rooting for them too, that you were on too, fan being short for fanatic. Yeah, we can be a little crazy sometimes. Hopefully we're not stalkerish. But we're all, if we meet others that are like us, we at least feel a little better about it, that there are others out there that are rooting just the same as we are, that are taking it just the way we do, and hopefully enjoying it in the future the way we have in the past.
Absolutely. So that's our goal. We want to build a fan community. We want to support Ryan. We want to support everything that he's about, support Team Penske, and just have fun being fans and watching the race every week.